Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
And I'm the Ginger Avenger. Yay. Yay for me.
Yep, Brad is on vacation. So brought in a guest host again.
Am I still really a guest? Am I really a guest? Or am I like a substitute teacher? I feel like a substitute teacher.
Well, what are you smoking this week?
I am smoking the newest Deadwood Estates. Deadwood Tobaccos by Drew Estates. My bad. The Dominicana?
Dominicana, yes.
Dominicana.
Yes,
my bad.
What it's
Okay.
called.
And it sports a Connecticut shave leaf wrapper with a Mexican San Andreas binder and fillers from the Dominican Republic. It's a little lighter than what I usually get because this is, I think, the lightest one in the set, but it's good.
Well, I'm smoking, especially since we're going to be talking about Punisher and Daredevil. I'm smoking the Hooten Young Ma Deuce. If you're not familiar with the Ma Deuce, that is the oldest serving 50 cal machine gun. It's been stacking bodies since World War II and is still stacking bodies today. Hooten Young is a veteran-owned company. These guys were, actually at, Operation Gothic Serpent, aka Back Hawk Down. And this is a really cool cigar because it's actually shaped like a 50 cal bullet. And it has a 2-leaf wrapper. It's got Ecuadorian Connecticut for the kind of brass of the round and Mexican San Andreas for the darker parts of the wrapper, and has Nicaraguan binders and fillers.
Ooh.
And it's cool. If you can find a box of these, they actually come in like a wooden, it looks like a 50 cal ammo can, but it's a like wood cigar box. It looks cool as shit. I kind of want
one.
I kind of want a box of these just
You
to get
kinda
that
want one just for
just
the
to get that
box.
Hooten Young
Yeah.
box. They're primarily known as a whiskey company, and they've got a couple cigars as well. I need to get a hold of some Hooten Young bourbon so I can see how it pairs with these here cigars.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'll have to remember to do that.
And they've got their other cigar they've got is Operation Gothic Serpent anniversary cigar. I've not picked one of those up yet, but
Maybe
we'll
next
do
time.
a future review of that cigar. And as I said before, we're going to be talking about season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. They brought Daredevil back from the Netflix, and now he's got his own Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got to fight off the Kingpin, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use your promo code Cigar Nerds for 20% off your order. Comes in tiny little 10 pouches that, even a blind man can find.
I don't know if that's cool or not, but okay.
I mean, if you're expecting political correctness, you've turned into the wrong show.
That's true. No, absolutely not on this. Not on this cast. Not on this podcast. I don't. I know better.
But yeah, so what are your initial thoughts on that? How's it starting out?
It's sweet, but they all are. But I mean, like I said, it's a little bit lighter. It's all. I don't know. It's not on.
Friggin' Skynet's trying to talk to us.
I don't know what the hell that was. It's a little lighter. And I know I like light, but this is a little bit light. So.
We found something that's too weak for you, or are you starting to develop a palate? And
maybe I'm starting
coming more to the dark side. We'll get you smoking some.
I'm already on the dark side. Well, if they made something
cigars.
flavored on the dark side, that would be one thing, but they don't.
All right. Well, we're gonna get into it right now.
Let's get into it.
And welcome back.
Yay!
And welcome back to Daredevil.
Yep, absolutely.
So for those of y'all that aren't familiar, before the dark times, before Disney bought everything, Netflix had a series of Marvel shows. The first of which was Daredevil, and then Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and of course, season 2 of Daredevil introduced us to Frank Castle, who eventually got his own series.
AKA the Punisher.
Yeah. before we get into like details and whatnot,
Mhm.
you never watched any of the like original Netflix shit, but they were like dark, gritty, and violent. And because I mean
I'm okay
Netflix,
with that.
doesn't shy away from an R rating. So that was one of the things that I was kind of worried about when they announced that they were bringing Daredevil back, was that they were going to Disneyfy it, and it was going to be a little bit.
Gonna go a little too NC-17 for you.
I mean, not going. NC-17 is worse than R tier.
Oh well,
That's like
I didn't know that.
that's the fancy name for X-rated.
Oh well, I didn't know that.
So, yeah,
Okay, my bad.
So yeah, I thought they might.
PG-13, that's the one I
Yeah, they
meant.
might kind of neuter Daredevil and not go hard in the violence, but episode 1, yeah, it goes fucking hard from like the start.
Yeah,
And and there's also cussing and blood and gore, and it's like, no, looks very similar with, I mean, there are some differences, but they did not shy away from the violence of the original
Well, you
Daredevil,
wouldn't
at
really
least not
be able to-
in episode 1, Heaven's Half Hour. It's an old Irish toast, may you be in heaven a full 30 minutes before the devil realizes you're dead.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that either, so that's news to me. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the bartender even says that. That's the toast she gives at
Okay, well, I didn't hear that part. I guess
at
there was a lot going on. I was trying to
dude's,
process. There was a lot going on in that little.
the dude's whatchamacallit, the retirement party.
Mm.
So yeah, our detective from the first from the old series is apparently now he's we start with his retirement party at
The Irish bar.
yeah, Josie's, where they all, Murdoch and Nelson and Paige all hung out in the previous series.
No, I didn't watch the original series, so I haven't. But, so I picked it up from here.
Cherry. I wanted to say Jerry, but yeah, Cherry is the name of the NYPD detective who is retiring, and then just kind of basically goes to work as an investigator for Murdoch's law firm.
I mean,
Which that's pretty much what a lot of retired cops end up doing, is going and working as an either a private investigator or like I said, a investigator for a lawyer.
I mean, it's you got skills, you just keep using them, I guess.
Yeah, my only kind of
Critique.
of the season, as I liked it as a whole, and like I said, we'll get into more specifics as we go on. It went super hard up front, and it's kind of the bad part of the way Disney things, where they do it week to week instead of just dropping the whole series at once. And then because I mean, it's the story of he crosses a line and he's traumatized, and we got to get him where he wants to put the suit back on. But it goes from like cool, violent Daredevil shit, episode 1, and then we get maybe 3, 4 episodes where it turns into a legal drama.
Yeah.
It's like it's a
And I'm not big on
a murder mystery / legal drama for the next couple episodes before it finally gets back into the action of Daredevil. Where in the original series, it was like usually got some kind of action sequence like every episode where with him outdoing Daredevil shit. But yeah, with this one, there's a whole lot of like
maybe they didn't want to have as big a medical budget this time around.
him looking for witnesses and courtroom drama shit.
Yeah. Which is okay. I mean, there's a lot of very successful, long-running TV shows that focus on that, but this is not one that you're looking for. You don't turn on hero shows to find courtroom drama. You turn on hero shows for violence.
Yeah, maybe if this was like season 1 of a show, which technically it is, but it's based on previous work, and it's like, yeah, I was hyped after that first episode. I'm like, all right, they're not gonna shy away from the action and stuff, and then they did for like too many episodes. So it's like it starts off strong, and then it ends strong,
first
but
one was
like the
good.
middle is just kind of.
And I kind of lost focus in the middle a little bit because I kind of like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah,
It's
because
just
like the
not
next,
entertaining. I need.
if you can watch it like marathon it in a couple days, then it's like, all right, cool. But yeah, that week to week, it's like I kind of struggled on episode 2 and 3 before it got back to
It's
like.
hard to want to go back and watch the next one because you're thinking it's going to be like that. It's like, no, I'm not. If I want courtroom drama, I'm going to watch SVU. So
Yeah. So we get like I said, they're having their retirement party for Cherry, and then our old villain from the previous shows up and snipes Foggy. Apparently Bullseye is out of jail and taking Foggy out for some reason, which we don't find out till maybe like the last.
that was
the last episode, last 2 episodes.
Second to last episode.
That there's more to it than meets the eye, but I got to say the cinematography, I guess the directing of it was really. Daredevil's known for those like long like straight shots with like a fight scene going in and out, like the camera not moving, but the action kind of coming in and out. That bar fight with him and Bullseye.
There was a lot.
Is just beautifully violent.
It was hard to focus. There was a lot going on. You had the heartbeats in the background, and
that's the cool thing because, like, say, the whole time, Daredevil shows up just because he went to protect. Foggy gets a frantic call from a witness saying there's somebody in the house, and Daredevil is going to rescue him. He finds out that because he's still listening into the phone call. He's like, "I'm sorry, Foggy. He just wanted to know where you were at." And of course, Foggy gets killed before Daredevil can make it back to the bar. So he just kind of has to, and he's coming in trying to finish off everybody else, making it look like a random, active shooter situation and not like a targeted hit. Mm-hmm. And then him and Daredevil to start fighting and him to just the belt of throwing knives. Like fucking Daredevil looks like a porcupine by the end of that fight. But the whole time he's fighting him, since he has super hearing, you can hear Foggy's heartbeat in the background and it getting slower and slower, and he actually hears the moment Foggy dies while they're fighting.
That would be tough. That would suck. I mean that would be rough.
And by this point he's he's all fucked up and he's beating Bullseye to a pulp, and then he just finally has that, because Daredevil is kind of like Batman, where he has I'm helping the legal system, but I'm not going to kill anybody. And then he's just like, fuck this guy, and throws him off the roof.
Still, I understand we're keeping him in to further the plot, but if you fall off a building, you're dead. I don't care.
There is a slim chance of survival, but there is a chance. I mean, especially, I will say this from working accidents and shit. Drunks survive accidents way more than a normal person because they're limp and loose.
Yeah, their body doesn't.
And he was knocked the fuck out when he got thrown off that roof. So he kind of ragged on. So I mean, there's been people who jumped out of airplanes and their parachute not open and survived the hit.
The side of his head, and there was
he kind of hit flat.
Okay.
and he was wearing body armor.
That's not even what bothers me.
We gotta suspend disbelief a little bit for drama.
Because that's not even what bothers me. I don't get angry until you get to the last episode or last 2, and then I get angry. It's like, what the fuck?
So then we jump ahead, I think it's a year.
Yeah, it's right out here.
He's actually the former DA and she's gone to the private sector, and they've partnered up and started a big, they're no longer working out of a tiny office in Hell's Kitchen. He has a legit New York
big
law
practice.
firm, and he's it's amazing what you can do when you don't have the distraction of being a vigilante, because he's no, I crossed that line. I tried to kill somebody, so now I'm just going to be a lawyer man and hang up my super suit, but I'm going to keep it in the attic just in case.
They all do. They all do. It doesn't matter how long of a break you take. You keep your suit anyway. All the way down to the animated ones. The fucking Incredibles kept their suits too. Everybody keeps their suit.
You never know when you got to suit up.
Everybody keeps a suit. I'm retired and I quit. I will never do it again, but just in case. I'm going to pack this in a vacuum storage bag and throw it in the attic, and it's fine.
And of course we get, because Karen, his former love interest, she shows up for the court case where Bullseye gets sentenced to life, and Matt's like, the system works. I'm doing lawyer things now, but yeah, apparently she's like,
does it though? Does it really though? 'Cause
was a
how
little
many
too
people-
traumatized, and she moved out to San Francisco, and
How
so
many people did Bullseye kill, and he got life?
so yeah, he
Anyway,
she's like, hey, I found like your broken horn, like she's like, dude, why are you giving up the whole Daredevil thing? I was like, I can't do it anymore, I'm a bitch.
yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how it felt like too. It's like,
That's why she left him, because she's just like, can't take your emo shit.
Yeah,
I'm moving to California.
yeah, like
I'm gonna go hang out with Ant-Man or some shit.
I'm gonna go be a bitch. I can't deal with it.
I mean, she did say she was in San Francisco, so that's kind of Ant-Man adjacent. That's his hood.
Ant-Man's got a girlfriend. Ant-Man has been very, 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 very committed to his girl. Ant-Man.
But he's got arrested a couple times. He may need a good lawyer.
Yeah, well, maybe. But he's got a girlfriend. He doesn't need a love interest.
So yeah, they introduced the new love interest of Heather, who's a psychiatrist, which Maddie probably could use one of those.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Smack him upside the back of the head. Said, "Stop being a bitch. Don't be a bitch.
Go grab your nunchucks and man up."
Fucking have that horn like a fidget toy the whole time. It's in his pocket. He's just playing with it. Like, motherfucker, put a keychain through that thing, because that's all it is now. It's a fidget toy.
Yeah, I don't know where this takes place in the. If you watched the She-Hulk, where he goes out to California and hangs out with I don't know if this happened before or after, but
Well, I'm assuming it was before, when his girlfriend left him.
when he was still, but it had to be before he gave up the. It's either before he gave up the horns or after he got the horns back.
I mean, well,
Marvel's not great about giving us
Yeah,
specific timelines.
continuity's not great in how that works, or at least we're not given specific clues. This is timelines, but I mean, if you have the chance to bang She-Hulk, you're gonna bang She-Hulk. I'll bang She-Hulk if I had the chance to bang She-Hulk. Come on.
Oh, and of course we've got our past bad guy of Vincent D'Onofrio, aka Kingpin, aka Wilson Fisk,
AKA Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, him showing, because
What the fuck ever.
the last time we checked in with him was in the Echo series, when Echo kind of took away his trauma. So apparently he went on a walkabout for a while, and his wife's been running the mafia organization, and he shows back up and she's like, we're giving up crime, I'm gonna save the city by running for mayor. And they did a good job of giving it that ambiguity.
Ambiguous.
There you go, where you're like, I don't know if this is just another Kingpin master plan, or if he's really
Legitimately gonna
caring and
turn over a new leaf.
become a good. So those first several episodes, like, he gets elected mayor, and him, and when Matt hears he's running for mayor, they have that sit down. He's like, hey, I just wanted to check in and see if you're. And he's like,
let's clear the air.
yeah, he's like, you've tried to kill me a couple times. He's like, well, you've done the same. He's like, no, I try to get you incarcerated, yes, but I beat your ass, but I was never actually trying to kill you. And he's like, hey, by the way, I had nothing to do with Foggy's death. I kept my promise that I would keep this between us and not come after your friends. But yeah, he legitimately looks like, all right, maybe he is like reformed. Even when he, like I said, when he gets elected mayor and the police chief tries to resign because he's like, I know you're a fucking criminal, I don't want to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows him like a picture of a kid, and you're like, oh yeah, he's doing gangster shit. He's like threatening to kill this kid. And then after, like, the commissioner's like, all right, I'll stay on, but careful what you ask for. And he's like, yeah, he just didn't want word to get out that he had this illegitimate kid that so he's like, he was like blackmailing him to expose him. He's like not actually threatening the kid. So it's like, all right, is he using this his gangster tactics to be a politician?
And
not
basically
like
the same thing. Let's be honest.
I mean, so yeah, you get these little hints of like, is he a bad guy or is he just
head of an evil conglomerate and politician are kind of interchangeable for the most part.
True enough. But yeah, they did a good job of keeping it kind of vague of what his true motivations were from the, is this another one, another Fisk master plan, or if he's legitimately trying to
But it wasn't a master
do good
plan.
in his own way.
It pissed off his wife, and he needed, you got to have peace in the home. So she said, I didn't marry no limp dick motherfucking politician.
And of course, Kingpin's always known for like his white suits. So it's like him trying to like wear normal people clothes for a while. It's like, you don't get that transition. You're like, oh, he's back to being evil till he puts on the white suits again. And it's like, oh, nope.
Well, supposedly
now
that
he's
was because
Kingpin.
the black one ripped, because he ripped the black one, because like he tried to put it on and slit the shoulder all the way through of it.
Well, no, he doesn't put on a full white suit until the mayor's white and black ball.
Mm-hmm.
But before then, he's like, regular politician suits and whatnot.
Still kind of a douche, just not so gangster. And that his wife didn't like it anymore. She
No,
didn't
and he's
like it.
He's like, by the way, I know you cheated on me while I was gone. She's like, well, you fucking disappeared and just left me ass in the wind to run the organization.
Yeah,
so
and like she took over and she was making more money than he was, and she was running it better. So of course she's a little pissed off when he says, no more crime. Bitch, look at what I built. What do you mean?
And she's like, so did you kill Adam? He's like, no, I'm not that man anymore. I promise you. We just had a talk and he went away.
He went away to my basement so I can put that bitch in a dog crate. That's what he went away to.
Oh.
How dare you touch my wife, even though I left her fucking spinning in the wind for however long.
Hanging out with the fucking tracksuit mafia and the Irish gangsters and everything.
Basically, he threw her ass to the wolves. So just because fortunately she was a badass and took, could charge, but
he had a nervous breakdown. He had to go on a walkabout.
Yeah, I bet he threw his fucking wife to the wolves. Like, here, I hope you survive this. Bye.
But then we get our first introduction to Matt's first big client of this season. Guy sees Good Samaritan, sees these two dudes roughing a guy up in the subway and tries to save the dude and ends up getting in a fight. And one of the guys trips and falls in front of the train. But then it turns out they're undercover detectives and part of like the more, I wouldn't say they're dirty, but they're
a little bit outside of the lines. We
Yeah,
color a little outside of the lines.
They're not like, running stuff for like a drug organization, but they're more kind of, as they call them later on, Punisher fanboys. And
yeah.
And they're trying to
we're not
go outside the law to get
confession. We're not strictly sticking to the letter of the law. Exactly. We're a little excessive and a little
they're not shying away from like beating a confession out of a dude or roughing up people who gets off.
I kind of I don't know.
But it turns out was it Hector, I think, is actually another vigilante, aka the White Tiger. Hector Ayala, played by Camara de los Reyes. So yeah, Matt, as he did with he was Spider-Man's lawyer too.
Of course.
That's the thing too. Is like all the bad shit going on in New York. Where the fuck is Spider-Man? Like Spider-Man knows Daredevil, or really knows Murdoch.
Right now. Maybe he's in space with Iron Man.
When
and Physician Peculiar.
Yeah. Well, when Mayor Fisk gives his speech, he's like, this is going to be a town of law and order. We don't need guys running around in devil suits or dudes dressed as spiders to save us. It's you count on the law.
We kind of need them to save us from you, because what it is you don't want to be opposed. Let's not lie. I don't care how white your suit is. Let's not lie.
So yeah, Matt has to, spends a couple episodes trying to track down the guy that White Tiger saved, and that's like the first kind of him nearly getting back into the Daredevil things, where he manages to find the guy, but the two dirty cops like catch up with him to like, we can't let this guy testify. And instead of following the guy out the window when he's like, hey, go down I got my guy outside, he'll take you to safety, just go. He waits around for the cops to come in, and they decide that they can't find the guy he's looking for, so they're gonna beat the information out of the blind lawyer. And then of course Maddie beats the fuck out of those two guys
and then cries about it like a little bitch. Ugh,
because he's trying to be, he's like to to him, he
Shut up.
thinks he thinks he's addicted to the violence, and he just almost relapsed by kicking the shit out of these dudes.
Yeah, they were gonna kick the shit out of you, so it's like I don't.
But I do like when he gets them on the witness stand. And he's interviewing the cop, and they're both of them are just kind of like, we're not going to talk about what each of us know, and he's like, they tell me you got a black eye, detective. Any problems? He's like, nah, it just happens. He's like, well, there's an old saying, the solution to the best treatment for black eyes is faster hands.
Yeah, well, I mean,
just fucking poke at him.
Let's be honest.
If you don't want to get punched in the face, don't get punched in the face.
You're supposed to guard your face anyway. You're supposed to keep your hands up anyway.
But yeah, of course, when they do finally get him on the witness stand, the cops have gotten to him, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was home that whole day. I've never seen this Hector guy before. So Matt finally has to all right, well, we got no choice. We got to do this a different way. Like, hey, this dude's the White Tiger, and he's saved all these people. So I'm going to bring all these character witnesses up to talk about what a good dude he is. And he obviously wasn't attacking these cops, because why would he do it without his uniform or his magic amulet that gives him superpowers? And the jury decides, nah, we believe White Tiger because he's the hometown hero. And then as soon as he's like, I'm free, I'm gonna suit up again, get back out there, gets shot in the head.
Yeah. Not
only shot in the head, but as the guy who kills him's walking toward the camera, and you can't see his face, you just see the Punisher logo and you're like, oh fuck, did Frank just think this guy's a criminal and take him out? Or spoiler alert, no, it ain't Frank. Frank's
better. I like Frank better.
Only fuck up real criminals.
I like Frank better. Daredevil's too much of a pansy.
You got to go back and watch the Punisher series if you liked Frank in this.
He's an asshole, of course. I like him. I like assholes. We've been through that. We know my moral compass doesn't point north, and we know that. We've been through that.
As we get the continuation of our legal drama, now he's like kind of investigating, and he goes to the scene of the crime and finds a shell casing, because they didn't find any shell casings because it was on a hill and it rolled into the sewer.
Yeah.
But apparently he's got super touch too, and he's like, oh, there's a Punisher logo engraved in this. Let me go talk to Frank and see. He's like, hey Frank, like, found a shell casing, and he's like, yeah, a bunch of fucking fanboys out there. That wasn't me, Red.
I didn't do it, man.
I was like, how you doing, Red? Just the way he just. And then he's like, dude, you can't even say Foggy's name. Like, man the fuck up. And he's like, you tossed that guy off the roof and you liked it. Like, just admit it. Like, he's like,
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Because he should have gotten tossed off the roof. I should have shot him in the head a couple of times. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. Should have.
Yeah, I always like, I don't know. I like, when he shows up, he's like, why don't you use, be of service. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot, you were, thank you for your service. Yeah. He's like, I'm the only motherfucker that went downrange and stacked bodies for my country. So
yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Exactly. We can have all these good people, all these innocent people killed by these motherfuckers, and then comes down to it and the hero doesn't want to kill. Fuck you. Fuck you. Let's look at the fucking score post. I mean, like, no, fuck you.
Oh yeah, but
if I let you go, you're gonna go kill more innocent people. Done. Tat down. Done.
Yeah. He's like, I think you came here, you want me to give you permission. It's like, that's the real reason here. And I'm like, hell yeah, go kick ass, put your suit back on and like, go make a permanent solution to these fuckers.
Bitch. Exactly. Permanent solutions, not like temporary. Oh, I'm gonna put him in jail until the mayor decides to release him because he made fucking mayor. No, permanent. Put him down permanent. 6 feet under, wooden box, done.
But then we finally get our first return of the Devil of Hell's Kitchen when I think it was his niece, or was it his niece or was it his daughter?
I think it was his niece. I didn't think he. Yeah, because she said it was her uncle.
Yeah, so she shows up at Matt's office and is like, hey, there's a bunch of people that have been going missing around this train station, and my uncle was tracking this down. Like, and he's like, well, let the cops handle it. And she's like,
Fuck the
Oh,
cop.
the same cops that like probably killed my uncle. No, no, thank you. I'm gonna go look it up myself. And at the same time, you've got because we keep seeing like these flashes of this artist guy painting murals and shit, and finally like New York Sanitation is like, hey, Mayor, we tried to get this stuff off the wall. We couldn't wash it off, so then I did a chemical analysis, and it's blood. Like, what? So yeah, they found something like 60 DNA markers in these murals. So
I mean, if you're gonna make a big ass mural you can see from the side of a building, you got to have a lot of donor. You need a lot of paint.
yeah, so he's like, brings in the police commissioner, and he's like, hey, fucking sanitation found out we got a serial killer before y'all did, so fuck this. Here's you a stack of resumes. I'm putting together a task force, and it's like all the cops with violent tendencies. And he's like, y'all are all going to report directly to me. Y'all are my anti-vigilante task force.
Let's
And
get the
like,
ones with the aggression problem.
he's like, there's going to be no body cams. There's going to be no warrants. Y'all get overtime. You just go fuck up shit and get results.
Get shit done. I need minions.
So yeah, he kind of uses that as an excuse to build his hit squad, because he's like,
Ugh.
What?
I got a big old wad of tobacco, just like
doing a little chewing.
I guess, not intentionally.
But of course, young Ayala decides to go look into it herself, which
BB.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna be. No, that's not BB. BB's the fucking reporter.
Oh, okay.
Those are two different characters.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, she's gonna go. And, of course, she gets captured by the Muse, aka White Deadpool looking dude, who's killing people and making blood murals. So he's like,
he's suffering for his art, or other people are suffering for his art.
Mama calls him and is like, she's gone missing, and he starts to call the cops, and he's like, fuck it. And he finally he's like, they're too slow. Let me use my devil powers and go find this guy. And of course he kicks the shit out of him, and he's about to hang his ass. Then he finally like, no, I can't kill this dude. Let me save the girl, because she's about to die if I don't give her CPR. And of course he gets away, but he does save the girl. But he's like,
that's the only case where it's excusable to let the motherfuckers go. If you're saving somebody's life, that's fine. I'll give you a pass. If you're standing there and decide you just don't want to put two in his cranial vault, that's a mistake. That's just stupid. I've been married to you too long.
yeah, you use words like cranial vault.
I know. And OODA loop. I use that frequently. I've been married to you too long.
Oh. But then we get...
I crave violence. And effective solutions. That's the logistics side of me. I crave effective solutions.
Oh, but before we get into the Return of the Devil, we had one episode before Matty suits back up where it's kind of like a standalone episode. He goes to a bank to get a loan, and these Irish mobbers come in and to rob the bank because they're trying to, because they were...
It's foreshadowing. There's going to be a crossover. That's what that is.
They were doing shit, and the mayor and his wife is like, y'all fucked up. Y'all owe this other mafia like $2 million for...
Yes,
for
she said everybody
violating
had to
the
play.
rules.
When she was in charge, she said everybody had to play together nicely, and it worked.
So they're going to steal some kind of diamond out of a safety deposit box, and Daredevil just happens to be there asking for a loan. And we get our kind of a crossover cameo. We don't get Miss Marvel. We get Miss Marvel's dad, who's very proud of his daughter and has a little Miss Marvel Funko Pop on his desk.
Which he tries to show to the blind guy, which is hilarious. Look, it's my Funko Pop of my kid, but you can't look at it. You can't see. Oops.
But yeah, it was
foreshadowing. Miss Marvel will be one on.
It was funny, him
Except she doesn't kill either.
It's like, we've got to see what these guys we're trying to steal. And he's like, you can't just crack a vault. And he's like, yeah, sure, watch me.
Yes, I can. I can hear better than you.
Oh. He snaps that dude's knee, which was pretty dope.
Yeah, okay. Fight scenes are all right.
But yeah, I like just the back and forth between him and the head Irish mafia guy.
Yeah,
he's like,
that was pretty fun.
Solicitor. Yeah, and when he's basically trying to delay shit, he calls the detective, I think it's Kim, the like the female detective who's like negotiating with him. He's like, tell you what, I'll give you 10 more minutes if you can tell me a joke. If I laugh, I won't kill anybody.
Yep.
So she tells a joke about a leprechaun fucking a penguin.
Yeah, I mean, he laughed. It worked.
On St. Patty's Day, no less.
Of course, that's why it works.
I was waiting for the Boondock Saints to show up and.
In nomine patris.
Yeah. But of course he, invites Daredevil over for dinner. So yeah, maybe we'll if we get a season 2 of Ms. Marvel, maybe we'll have a Matt cameo.
Well, like I said, it's foreshadowing. That'll probably be how it goes because Miss Marvel doesn't believe in violence either. So
Oh, did you watch Ms. Marvel?
Yes, I watched the movie.
You didn't watch the TV show though.
I don't think I did, but I did watch the movie. They don't kill either.
There's a difference between a hero and a vigilante.
Captain Marvel kills. She kills.
It's okay if it's aliens.
That's right. I forgot. See, the rules
Oh
are
yeah,
so...
I like when Matt's doing his like public defender stuff, and he's like, you got the guy who's like stole like fucking caramel corn, and he's like, it wasn't me. They have you on video. Could have been a Skrull. No, it wasn't a Skrull.
I mean, there's an effective defense, though.
Yeah, that's a viable defense in the Marvel universe.
We know that. That's an effective defense.
It wasn't me. It was a Skrull.
He did go to Rikers for stealing candy corn. It's like, or caramel corn. That's a little.
Only 10 days.
That's a little aggressive. That's a little much.
Well, he had it wasn't his first rodeo. He kind of had a decent criminal history.
Still.
Usually repeat offenders, you get like progressively more stuff, not less. But Matt did get him argued down to like 10 days. You'll do 7.
Yeah. Okay. Well, still. Anyway.
But yeah, then you get the detective briefing the mayor on what they found at the crime scene. They're like, pretty sure we know who this dude is. She's like, I found a thing at the crime scene. I thought it was like cloth. Turns out it was canvas, and it's high-end canvas. Only one store sells this shit, and they only sold it to like 12 people, and I've talked to 11 of them. So it's probably this one fucker.
Yeah, we know who it is. Motherfucker went a
But
little
then
nuts.
she's like, are you familiar with Taekwondo? This guy like trained with like some Taekwondo master, and I'm like, I ain't scared of no Taekwondo guy.
Now don't do it.
Especially I'm not sure what martial arts Daredevil uses, but I know he's got a boxing background. His dad was a boxer.
Yeah.
So he kicks and he can throw hands. I'm like, fucking Taekwondo man ain't got no close quarters skills.
Oh. Lord.
Y'all should have picked a different martial arts for this guy's like.
Do you think
he's scary?
Maybe you're
He's
just
a Taekwondo guy.
little biased? Do you think maybe you're just got a little bit of
Hapkido
bias?
is the superior art to Taekwondo.
Do you think maybe you're just a little biased? Maybe a little, teeny tiny little bit.
I mean, Matt did kick the shit out of them when they face off.
True.
It's
all right.
I mean, Taekwondo guys are really great kickers, but once you get past kicking range, and you start doing that, you start throwing those knees and elbows like Matty did, they're gonna have problems with that.
Okay.
They're not grapplers.
I'll give you that.
Oh, but yeah. Apparently, Muse is the guy that we've seen bits and pieces of. Kind of a fanboy of Matt's therapist girlfriend, and he's in her office, and he reveals that you are my next masterpiece. Kind of at the same time that the detective's like, hey, we found these drawings at the crime scene. Facial recognition says it's Heather, the doctor. So he's like, y'all better get your asses there before. I don't want a vigilante getting credit for taking this guy down. Task force, get your ass there. And at the same time, Matt's like apparently like rubbing these drawings. He's like, I recognize this face.
Exactly, which
was kind of
bullshit.
I mean, he's got like super senses, but
yeah.
I mean, later on, like he rubs the shell casing and finds the Punisher logo again while he's wearing gloves.
I mean,
like,
yeah, that's kind of bullshit too.
I was like, would that really?
I mean, let's be for real. There was ulterior motive there. It's like, yeah, that's the therapist my wife and I are talking to, and I need my wife not mad at me anymore.
Yeah, and they're like, when the witness that got rescued in the subway, said that Daredevil was there, and like, oh shit, yeah. So of course he's about to kill the therapist, and Daredevil busts in the window and beats his ass, but therapist gets a hold of his gun and Mag dumps him in the chest.
As she should.
But yeah, when the mayor shows up, he's like, "Hey, boss, there was someone else in the room. By the time we got here, like, dude was dead, and
the therapist was holding his gun.
Some people say the Daredevil was here, and he's like, all right, now you're mistaken, Sergeant. You guys took care of this,
yes,
right?"
Absolutely.
He's like, "Yeah, whatever you say, boss." And then you got Mrs. Fisk with the tracksuit mafia guys, like, "Hey, we want to go back to the old ways." He's like, "Oh, well, are you asking my permission or my help?" And he's like, "Well, we'll see." So you get Fisk after his celebratory, like, "Yeah, the task force works. We took down this guy without the help." And no, we definitely didn't get help by Daredevil. Goes to have his dinner, and you think your wifey gave him up, and dude comes in to assassinate him, but it's a trap. His guys takes the dude out, and he's like, "Hey, call my wife. She wants me to bring her some takeout." She kind of like proves her loyalty, so then he turns around and be like, "Hey."
She's evil, but that's a ride or die bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, she going down with you one way or another.
He's
That's
like, "Hey, I don't think I told you how much I appreciated you running the business while I was gone." And she's like, "Yeah, that's why it kind of hurts that you've thrown everything away." She's like, "Well, not really. Like, just bear with me. There is a plan to all this." And takes her down to his underground jail and be like, "Told you I wouldn't kill him, but I can't deal with this asshole, so I've kept him locked up here." And she's like, "All right, yeah." Fucking, she shoots his ass, and she's like,
and then they make out, because that's what you do.
Yeah. Corpse got her a little hot.
Yep. Like I said, she's fucking vicious little cunt, but she's a ride or die bitch, for real. That woman is committed to her husband in a serious kind of way. Like, I'll mark some bodies for you, dear.
And then we get Bullseye getting transferred from the protected area of the jail to Gen Pop, because he's a former federal agent before he turned hitman.
And how the fuck did he survive his first couple of days in there? Because his arms are tied up the whole time. How did he even...
Well, he was only tied up while they were transferring. Once he got released into Gen Pop, he was probably just, not tied up. But yeah, he was about to get fucked up. So he's like, calls Murdoch, and he's like, "Hey man, help me out here." And he's like, "Fuck you!" Like, slams his face into the. Oh, he just started slamming his face into the table.
Kind of seems like it might have been intentional. I mean, maybe not. At least that's how it read to me. It's like he broke the dude's face a little bit and kind of.
I don't think he would have done anything that he knew, like, the dude was going to kill some people on his way out the.
No,
way
but
out the jail.
I kind of feel like he released him on his own anyway.
Yeah, he definitely fucked up there, but.
Of course, that would kind of.
But you get the realization that, because he's like, if the mayor's trying to get this guy killed, there's something that ties him to Foggy's death, and they start kind of investigating, and Matt comes to realize that, like, what? Foggy was drinking this special whiskey? He only did that if he knew he was going to win. How did he know he was going to win before this went down? And then he's like,
there's a whole other plot.
Realizes that, wait a minute, all this went down when Kingpin was on his walkabout. This is Vanessa, not Fisk. He may not even know anything about this. So Foggy found out something that could hurt their criminal organization, and this was a focused hit. So he goes to the ball to confront them, and Fisk is using this social gathering to, like, he's like, "Hey, this port project I'm going to be doing, it's going to require money, so I'm going to basically just blackmail all
He's like shaking down everybody. He's just shaking everybody down for money. He's like, "Yeah, I know you're a vigilante. You're going to give me money, or I'm going to stick my task force on you."
Yeah, he's doing his gangster shit.
His swordsman.
Yeah, who's from the Hawkeye series.
Oh.
But then Bullseye's like breaks in, and first he's targeting Vanessa because, like, she got him into this shit. But he's like, "You know what? I'll hurt her more by killing her fucking husband."
True.
And then Matt takes a bullet for him for some reason because he's still kind of on the. He's like, "Wait, he had nothing to do with this. It was her. Is he really gangster or not gangster?" He's still kind of conflicted about that. But then again, Matt's like
But if the mayor
Nobody should die.
is the head of corruption, let's take the mayor out of it, because he was right. This is a higher seat of power that I can use to get away with shit.
Yeah, we find out he kind of explains to Vanessa that, like, no, all this was part of my master plan. It's like, I've been kingpin since the beginning. Like, you ran millions of dollars through the port, but now that I'm the mayor, we can run billions through the port. Because we find out later on that what Foggy had stumbled onto was the port was the original charter of the port that, like, predates, like, I guess the city. It was a free port, which means the laws of the city,
no tariffs, no taxes,
don't apply. So basically, it's like
customs.
a law enforcement free zone. They can kind of do whatever they want without any kind of regulation. And that was going to be his defense, that this guy stole a truck on this property, and the laws of New York do not apply to this property. So my guy is cannot be charged with said crimes.
Which is interesting historically, I guess. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
But the mayor's using this as a opportunity to implement his kind of end game. He's like, I want the city shut down. We're gonna
force a curfew,
and his, like, assistant lady is like, you can't do that. It's against the. He's like, we need, an attempt on the mayor's life is one thing, but we need, like, an ongoing problem to declare martial law.
Okay, so I'll just black out the city and let everything go to
blame the
shit.
vigilantes. And tells them, like, hey, get everyone out of the building that's not, like, in. And she, at this point the commissioner's had enough, and he's like, hey, I'm going to the governor and the state Supreme Court. We've got to do something about this. But of course you thought she was leaning toward the good side, but no, she's a politician and or a bureaucrat, so she rats homeboy out to the mayor.
Yeah, apparently not for 1 second thinking, oh, wait a minute, he's not going to survive that. He stepped down. No, he fucking didn't step down. You
he got
smashed
squished
his
down.
fucking head like a melon. Who the fuck does your dry cleaning, man? Because you smashed his head like a fucking grape, and I don't think a human can do that.
And basically sends his goons out to round up anyone who he's got dirt on, or any of the vigilantes. And he asked his Buck, his enforcer, like, hey, how's Murdoch? Well, he survived. He's like, that's unfortunate, because a dead hero is better than a live vigilante. So why don't you go make sure he doesn't make it out.
Motherfucker took a bullet for me, but go make sure he doesn't survive it.
Yeah, but of course, Matt wandered his ass out of the hospital before he arrived, and then winds up back at his apartment. And like, as soon as he, like, collapses on the couch, like, fuck. He's like, Frank's there. He's like, you suck. He's like, the power's out, and you ain't got a way to make a decent cup of coffee in this fucking town. He's like, well, sorry, not all of us live in a bunker.
Well,
he's like, fucking Frank would have had a propane stove to make some coffee with, at least.
I could be pretty aggressive if I don't have coffee either. I can be pretty much.
And he's like, so he's like, is this your new suit? You're just gonna, fight crime with no pants?
Fight crime with your ass out.
And I like the bantering back and forth. He's like, well, did you scope that van of douchebags on your way in? He's like, yep, they're gonna be coming down the west side. He's like, if those guys come up here, I ain't gonna play patty cake like you will. He's like, I don't think I want that kind of help. He's like, well, that's the kind of help you got. He's like, why are you here? He's like, somebody called me and said I need to protect your ass. He's like, oh, so the shave and the haircut's all for me? He's like, yeah, fuck you. and then they hear something. Well, they're on their.
How the fuck does he know? How the fuck does he know the dude shaved?
He has super senses. He could smell.
Okay.
He's also got, like, echolocation. Like, Daredevil sees in, like, basically like a bat nearly.
All right, whatever.
He could probably smell the aftershave.
Mm.
And because, of course, as we find out later, Karen's coming back for a visit, and Punisher's got a little crush. So he's like, oh, my girl's back in town. I need to.
Well, that's
I need to clean up and look good for when Karen pays a visit. I love the little back and forth. He's like, all right, they're on their way in. And he's like, cool. Are you going to fight crime with your ass hanging out? And he just, like, gives him the finger and walks upstairs to get his suit. I just love the back and forth between them. And then, as soon as they come in, fucking Punisher just starts stacking bodies. And he's like, damn it, Frank, quit killing people. He's like,
Nope.
fuck you.
Fuck you. Bang. Fuck you. Bang. This is how we do this shit and make it work. This is effective.
And finally, he like kind of pins the head task force guy to the and sees his Frank picks up one of his shell cations. He's like, "Hey, Red, I think we found your guy that killed White Tiger." Mm-hmm. And he smacks him around a little bit, and Frank's like, "Yeah, let me just finish this dude off." He's like, "No, like it's against my way." He's like, "He's not worth it." And Frank's like, "Really? How about is this guy worth it?" And shoots the other guy.
Yep.
What about this guy? He's like, "Damn it, you fucking like quit doing that shit." And then somebody like throws a grenade and he's like, "Well, that's a mute point. The guy's dead anyway." Somebody chunked a grenade at us.
I mean, yeah, like they're all dead now. It doesn't matter.
But they jump out the window and land on somebody's van, and then they're just kind of like both of them like hobbling down the street. And he's like, "Frank, you're an asshole." And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I am, and I'm proud of it. My way is effective.
But then again, him and Karen go. They find the document about the Freeport, and Frank's like, "Hey, like you asked me to save his ass. I saved his ass. I'm done with this shit." And she's like, "I think you're full of shit. I think you want to help out." And Frank's like listening to the police scanner, and he's like, "Yeah, we're all meeting up at the docks." Frank's like, "All right, fuck these assholes." And he shows up, and they're like, "Hey man, we just want to talk. We're like fans of y'all." And they're like, "Non-lethals only. Let's subdue him." And Frank's like pulls out that Winkler combat tomahawk, which
I know you want one. I know you do.
I mean, I want the Syak tomahawk, but the combat tomahawk is pretty badass too. But yeah, Frank just starts fucking people up. You don't use non-lethals. I mean, they eventually take them down, but Frank tanks out about half of their crew before they finally subdue him. And when he wakes up, they're like, "Hey man, we're fans. We want you to come work for us."
Yeah, we want to hang with you, dude.
You can be part of the task
force. A lot
force.
of my boys, but I want to hang with you.
And he's like,
"Fuck you."
He's like, "What?" He's like, "Y'all a bunch of fucking clowns. Like, I wouldn't piss on y'all to put y'all out. Like, y'all don't know nothing about my pain or why I do this shit. Y'all just a bunch of fucking criminals pretending to be cops." And then they all start punching him in the face, and he's like, "Still here."
Is that the best you got, bitch?
Still here.
Is that the best you got?
And then Maddie and Karen try to go to the wharf and wrap things up, and she's like, "You're gonna die if you go in there. Is that what you're trying to do?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Foggy believed in you, no matter what. Like, whether you're Daredevil, Matt, everything, he believed in you. So you can stop this, but do it smart. Like, what do you need?" He's like, "I'm gonna need a fucking army." So they back away and go back to the bar, and Matt's there. They got all the non-corrupt cops, and there's like one guy in the corner that you can't see who he is. So I don't know. That's gonna be maybe a reveal next time. But Maddie walks out, and it's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to put together a gang. We're gonna retake this city because this is New York. So maybe fucking Spider-Man will show up, or the rest of the Defenders will show up next season."
You fucking need somebody, because if you're gonna be a pansy ass bitch and not stack the bodies, then somebody needs to be able to.
And even though they beat the fuck out of him, we get Kingpin and his wife having dinner in his secret jail with all the captured vigilantes and other people, and you see Frank's all tied up there. So we know he survived, and then we get kind of our post-credit.
I don't like her, but I gotta respect her. That is a ride or die bitch. She's a cold-hearted fucking cunt, but she is a ride or die bitch. That is her man, and that's it.
Yeah, so Frank's like starts talking to one of the guards. "Hey man, where are you from?" I'm like, Jersey. Yeah, I thought. Hey man, thanks for your service. Like, goes to shake the dude's hand because
Which was dumb. That was just stupid. Is this your first fucking day?
Well, they're all fanboys of the Punisher, and they he used their fanboy stuff against him, and like snaps the dude's arm and gets the keys. So maybe Matt's got his army now, because if Frank got out, he probably released all the other prisoners. So there's gonna be a bunch of pissed off vigilantes that are, and I'm assuming because they showed when they're like showing like he's like the mayor's like, "Yeah, we're it's only temporary until we get things under control, but I'm declaring martial law. There's a curfew. No vigilantism, yada yada yada." But you see young I on the street, walking by, and I'm like, she's probably going to find her uncle's amulet and become the new White Tiger next season. Yeah. So Daredevil's probably going to put together a whole
do something
vigilante
next season,
team for.
They got their asses spanked like hard. Y'all all just got fucking spanked, and this bitch is in control of everything, and he's got his cold as shit fucking wife beside him, and she's a bad bitch.
And
Y'all got spanked.
his hit squad of dirty ass cops.
Motherfucker got his own army. He's in charge of everything, and he's got this cold-hearted fucking cunt beside him that's ride or die for his ass. It's like, no, you need to do something. Y'all got your asses spanked.
Yeah, that's my only other complaint about this is like it ended in a Empire Strikes Back ending. It's like the bad guys are winning and the good guys have just gotten their ass kicked and it's time for like round 2. So we got kind of a down ending, and we've got to wait until next year to get fucking season 2 of
That sucks.
of Daredevil.
I hate that shit.
Oh, so yeah, it's like not a. I mean, we literally got the title of the show. Daredevil is born again, and he's fully
And he got his
committed
ass
to
handed to him. That should be in fine print underneath. Daredevil rides again and got his ass handed to him.
He got shot. He needs some time to recover.
Lots of people got shot, and the
he's not got a
commissioner
healing
of police
factor.
got his head smashed like a grape. That is bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't expect Disney to go that graphic. That was pretty sweet. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, he got his head smashed like a fucking grape, and I don't even think a human being can do that, because I don't think you can crush bone like that with bare hands.
Well, that's part of the character of Kingpin is he's like he's strong.
Yes, but not near as bad as his wife, because she's a badass.
Yeah, she's just like freaking.
That is a cold-blooded bitch, but I respect it. I respect the motivation.
Yeah, she's a little bit of a psychopath.
I would stack bodies for you. I'm not saying we're right necessarily, but I'd stack bodies for you. But we all know that I'm not. Like, I'm not right in the head. We knew that already.
So you said you were pissed off at the last couple of. What was your what got you fired up?
We got spanked so goddamn bad. We didn't even do anything. We accomplished jack shit. All these good people died. We didn't even put one good hit on Kingpin's whole fucking thing. We let him take everything. Him and his psychopathic bitch, they're in charge of everything. And you see them sitting there, they're having their dinner in the little fucking art place, and I don't really understand the painting on the wall, but I was going to ask you about that. I think that was something I must have missed from you.
Some kind of fancy painting. I don't know. She's
like
an art collector.
It
so
looked like a blood spatter.
it did, but it was framed. It was so I'm like.
It looked like a blood splatter on linoleum.
I'm assuming it's some kind of.
I mean, it
expensive
wasn't
painting
blood because
she's
it was still red. And
she's a art collector.
Brown, but yeah, they got spanked. They didn't do shit. They didn't accomplish jack shit, and everybody got their ass whooped for no reason.
Most of these Marvel shows have been, with the exception of Loki, all one-off series. So usually, like, we get everything wrapped up in a nice bow at the end of the series. Where this one, it's like, yeah, we got the Empire Strikes Back ending, where like the bad guys win, and now Luke's got his hand cut off, and now we got to wait for the next one for the redemption. Bad guys getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, that's just like,
because we know we got Daredevil's season 2 is not gonna be the next year, but they've also announced that there's going to be a Punisher miniseries or movie or something.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be before season 2 of Daredevil or after season 2, but yeah, Frank's getting his own adventure.
Yes, because I enjoy watching him. He puts motherfuckers down.
I'm glad they didn't recast him. John Barenthal is just
I enjoy watching
excellent.
him stack bodies. That
and
works
Marvel
for me.
is not. They're great at martial art action. They make some mistakes when it comes to gun stuff, but I know John Barenthal. He like trains with like Terran Tactical for like he takes like the gunplay seriously. So I got no complaints when I see like Frank fucking shit up. But like yeah, anytime else someone's using a gun in a Marvel movie, I'm just like, oh, that's. He's like the one guy that knows
guns in Marvel
knows what the fuck he's doing.
We don't use guns in Marvel movies for the most part, and we should. But that's just my.
So as we wrap this up, before we get into the cigars, what's something you want to see season 2? Who guest stars should we get next season?
Spider-Man would be good just for the
It would
humor.
make sense.
It would make sense, and it would be funny. But Spider-Man is also, I don't kill people. My name is Peter.
But he's the friendly.
Parker.
I mean,
I don't kill people.
Hell's Kitchen is probably a decent amount away from Brooklyn. So when shit starts going bad, he could have been off like in the Bronx saving people during
he
the
was trying
blackout.
to get hold of Thanos. Nobody knew what was going on above Thanos. He's out trying to kill Thanos.
That's several movies ago. That's already been handled.
I don't care.
If New York's going bad enough, fucking,
We got a lot of New York fucking vigilantes that could
we
have
got
been here.
Doctor Strange is in New York. Fucking, what's his name? Doctor Strange is in New York. Wong is in New York. Spider-Man's in New York. The Defenders, if they're still in the
Fucking
Marvel
Morbius
universe,
is
they're all in New
York
York.
too. That's fucking Vampire Man's in New York.
He's on a different Earth.
Oh.
Whatever. The Kung Fu guy's in San Francisco as well, so he won't show up.
No. Wait.
Yeah.
Ten Rings guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Strange, fucking
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel's in Jersey. That's close enough. Her dad works in New York. Maybe she'll show up next season.
Yeah, but she didn't get stack no bodies either.
So what do you think of this here Cigar?
It's good. It's a little light. And for me to say that's pretty impressive. It's a little light, but it's not bad. It'd be like a second cigar. Like if I was doing a 2 a day time, it'd be like I'd want something like this lighter for the second one. But
well, I mean, the Ma Deuce, it's a little bit earthy, kind of florally, but not like sweet, and like a white pepperiness to it, which I like. I want to try the Gothic Serpent, see what it tastes like, and I like the artistry that went into the construction of this cigar. Making it look like a bullet is cool as shit. With the dual,
they definitely cater to the right
the dual
audience
wrappers.
on that one.
Well,
You.
but that's all we got for you this week. We'll be right back with some science. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.